In this video, I'll guide you step by step through the incredible enchanting overhaul that Apotheosis offers in all the mods 9. Get ready to unlock the secrets and become the most formidable force in the game. And be sure to stick around to the end for the ultimate enchanting setup as well. Welcome to Minecraft Mods Unlocked. Okay, so let's start with how Eterna works, because you'll most likely run into Eterna first before any of the other stats. And the reason you'll do that is because you'll just be making a regular enchantment table. So Eterna is basically how powerful your tools will be when you put it into the enchantment table. So here, as you can see, I get a level 30 tool, and as you can see here, +1 Eterna on the top, max 15. So obviously 30 is double of 15, so any Eterna that you have for the bookshelf will be doubled. So as you can see here, for the Draconic End Shelf, Eterna is +10 with the max of 50. So when you go in here, you see that I have 50 and right here, and it's 100 levels. So it's double whatever your Eterna is. So if you have 50, it's going to be 100. If you have 15, it's going to be 30, and so on. All right, we talked about Eterna and how the number here is doubled when you're inside of here. As you can see, it's 30. So let's talk about Quanta. And Quanta is a little more complicated in the way that it kind of works. And don't take these setups as the setups that you should do, as I'll show you the best setup later on at the end of this video, actually. So basically, when you put your sword in here, you'll see obviously you have Eterna, and then you have Quanta. Quanta increases the underlying randomness, so Quanta increases the RNG. So if you have a level 100, your level here that says 50, it can go up or it could go down by 100. So obviously you never want your level to go down, and that's where rectification comes in, which I'll talk about later. So it is always good unless you can get your rectification to 100%. It's always good to try to minimize Quanta as much as possible. So in summary, basically Quanta just increases the RNG, either to increase it or to decrease your level by whatever percent you have here. And it's always good to keep this low until you have 100% rectification. Okay, so now that we talked about Quanta and how it can be positive or negative for you, let's talk about rectification. So as you can see here, the shelf of infused rectification gives you the most rectification here. So all we need is 4, because it gives you 25 and the maximum is 100%. So as you can see in here now, when we go to Quanta, it gives us rectification 100%, whereas it was 0 before. Now, if you have only rectification 25% or 50 or 75, it's not going to 100, it's not going to completely counteract the negative effects of Quanta. So you'll still have that 25% chance of getting like a bad enchant, basically. So basically you want your rectification to be 100% and pretty much nothing less if you're going to be maximizing Quanta. Now, as you can see in the top left, the reduction potential is 0% and the growth potential is 100%. So your enchants will always be more powerful when you have 100% rectification with 100% Quanta. Okay, so we talked about all of them but Arcana so far. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Arcana next. We talked about the rest of them. So Arcana basically just makes rare enchantments more common, but it also makes common enchantments more rare. So you're less likely to get, a bad enchantment or a less powerful enchantment over a good enchantment. Now, building on top of that, it also gives you more enchantments per item. So if I were to enchant this now, you see I have, 5? So that usually wouldn't happen unless you have high amounts of Arcana. So as you can see here, 3 and 4. So I would say that wooden swords aren't the best way to use Arcana and to enchant things, but with the relatively low enchantability, you can see that I'm getting pretty good enchantments on here. Looting 3, freaking Sweeping Edge 3. So basically Arcana makes it where rare enchantments are more common, and more common enchantments are more rare, and the maximum enchantments on a sword is increased. And as a quick side note, over there where you see relative weights, basically common, as you can see, is 1, and then very rare is 10. So obviously the higher the number, the more likely you are to get that level of enchantment, and basically that's all that means. Okay, so now let's go over the Enchantment Library and the Library of Alexandria. Now, the main difference between these two things are the Library of Alexandria can just hold a whole lot more enchanted books, whereas the Enchantment Library can hold less, but it's pretty much the same. I've never maxed it out in a survival playthrough, but I'm sure some people can, and probably will, honestly. And basically how it works, you could just throw enchantment books in there, and then you can store them, and it stores as points. As you can see, 9 out of 32,768, where over here it's like a billion or something, I don't know. But actually, let's look at that right now. So over here, it's it's 1.1 billion. So that's the major difference between those two. But anyways, I put 9 books in there, and it stores them as 9 levels. And then it increases when you add higher level books like Sharpness 5. So I put Sharpness 1 in there, and I can only extract Sharpness 1. As you can see, when I'm clicking on it, it says next level unavailable. So I can only extract to the highest level that the Enchantment Library has ever seen. So if the highest level was 1, then I can only extract at 1. If the highest level is 5, then now, as you can see, max level available 5, and the points stored is 24. And then as you can see, I'm extracting level 1, click again. You can left or right click, or you can, I think, shift click, and then it will automatically bring the highest level. So as you can see here, I have a Sharpness 5 now, and then you can also get any of the in-between levels. So here's a Sharpness 3, here's a Sharpness 4, and here's a Sharpness 5. So that's pretty much how that works. And I think the really cool thing about this is if you have a book that maybe you found and it has a curse on it as well, it will actually remove the curse and split the book. So as you can see here, I have Curse of Binding and Infinity now, and I don't have to ever worry about, as you can see, I don't have to ever worry about curses being on my equipment because I can remove it in the Enchantment Library. All of that is true for this over here as well, but as you can see, it just has 1.1 billion instead of just 32,000 or whatever this is. And another cool thing about this is you can throw a book with pretty much any enchantment on it at all. You can just throw it in there, and it'll break them all into their individual enchantments for you to later pull out. And I think that's really cool, and that's pretty helpful in my opinion. But I just kind of wanted to highlight that just in case. Next up, I explain how to make the most efficient and most powerful enchantment setup. But before I do, I would like to remind everybody to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Now, without any further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright, so we've gone over what each enchantment stat does, and we've gone over the libraries. So let's now go over what the best enchantment setup is for Apotheosis. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's a little ugly, and you could probably beautify it if you wanted to, but this is the bare minimum that you need. So let's go over what it is. So we have the Library of Alexandria, and you know what? I'll just show you inside the case here. So you need 1 Library of Alexandria, you need 1 B shelf, 3 Draconic End shelf, 4 Hell shelf of Masterful Sight, 4 shelf of Infused Rectification, and 7 Echoing Skulk shelf, and obviously the enchantment table. And that will give you the best enchantment stats that you could possibly get. As you can see here, everything is maxed out, 50 out of 50, 100 out of 100 with both Quanta and Rectification, and total value for the Arcana is 100%. So this is how it looks. You can make it beautiful, you can leave it like this, but this is what I see to work the best. Alright guys, so that does it for this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and to demolish that bell button so that you never miss a new video. This is Minecraft Mods Unlocked. I'm Avo. I'll see you guys in the next one.